tens of millions of XRP is being purchased by one single, very small group of select people. In this video, I'm going to tell you who is buying all the XRP, well, tens of millions of it, and who is selling, because it might actually shock you to know who is doing what. So we're going to be talking about some of the XRP technical analysis, some of the price predictions, short-term and long-term, and what John Deaton is now talking about regarding the SEC versus library case, because a decision was just handed down, and I'm going to tell you if and how it's going to affect the Ripple versus the SEC case. Also going to be talking about some of the CPI numbers that are coming out, well, today if you're watching this video on Wednesday, which is in the United States, the inflation number, what that number could do to the markets. I'm going to tell you what JP Morgan is predicting and what some of these other large institutional investors are predicting and what they say the market is going to do to react to it. So we're going to be talking about some macro financial stuff as well as a new gold-backed digital currency that is being pushed by the BRICS countries. And I'm going to tell you who just said no thanks, because it's bigger than you think. Hey everybody, my name is Randy. Welcome back to the Late Night Grind. Right now on this channel, we are talking about the Ripple versus the SEC case, as well as other cryptocurrency news, investment markets, and personal finance. So if any or all these topics interest you, make sure you go ahead and hit that subscribe button. Join the Late Night Grind community. If you do a couple things, I'd appreciate it. Smash the thumbs up button and watch this video all the way to the end. If you do that, I'd greatly appreciate it. All right, guys. Let's jump into it. So some of the things to look out for, of course, if you're watching this video on Wednesday, and that is the CPI numbers coming out, the inflation numbers coming out in the United States. Now, some of the predictions are that that number is going to come in at about 3 to 3.1%, which is still well above the 2%, which is their target. Now, a lot of this forecasting is typically spot on, especially when you have the big institutional people telling you what's probably going to happen. In fact, JP Morgan put out a chart, and they're giving their market analysis as to what could happen in the markets depending on how that number comes in. So most of the forecast number is about 3 to 3.1, maybe 3.2%. Well, JP Morgan predicts that if that happens, because it did come down, because that means it did come down slightly from last month, that the market's going to be up approximately 0.5% to 0.75%. So most things will be in the green. But if it's Wednesday, let me know in the comment section below if that prediction was actually correct. Now, in terms of Bitcoin and the rest of the crypto world, they're probably going to follow right along with what those numbers say. And of course, we have the PPI, the producer price index, coming even later. Those numbers typically big as well. But before I get into XRP and who's buying tens of millions of it, I want to touch on something that is going on globally. And this is a new digital currency that is supposed to be gold-backed. Now, this is actually being adopted and pushed by the BRICS countries. These BRICS countries are essentially the forefront of countries looking to de-dollarize the world, looking to move the world's global reserve currency away from the United States dollar. Now, what they're doing is creating their own currency, and here's the thing. I don't know how far it's going to actually go. Number one, because it's backed by gold, and gold is losing trust by the weak globally, especially by institutional buyers and by the wealthy. Number two, it's actually going to be competing against China's own digital currency. Now, they already have their form of control on their people using their programmable money, their central bank digital currency, which we do not want anywhere else in the world. And number three, this digital currency was absolutely outright given a big fat no by the country of India. Now, this is big because at its current growth rate, it is expected that India is going to have the world's third largest economy by 2027. That's just a few years away. So you already have some of the largest economies in the world, China, India, and the United States. Well, none of them are going to be jumping on board this BRICS currency. So that's something to keep an eye on. Let me know in the comment section down below if that's something that you're following. Okay, so now that we have that as our backdrop, I wanted to turn some attention to some of the legal issues, this being the SEC versus library case that officially just ended. Now, this ended in favor of the SEC, the judge handing the summary judgment win to the SEC. Now, what does this mean for the Ripple case? Well, according to John Deaton, it doesn't really mean a whole lot of anything. Because here's the thing. That case went through extremely quick. Library did not get to do some things that Ripple did in terms of its defense. Now, they have a much, much smaller budget than Ripple does, of course. But nonetheless, the judge decided that a fair fine would be approximately $111,000 given to the SEC from Library. Library is, of course, being dissolved, and their executives, of course, are being barred from doing anything like setting up another company and offering more of what they called illegal unregistered securities. But here's the thing. This is the thing about this case. there was no determination in terms of secondary market sales if the library token was actually a security. Now, this does have some effects with the Ripple case because that is one major question that Judge Torres may or may not have to answer now. Is XRP a security? Now, just because the company was found to be offering something as a security of their company doesn't mean that that token, that library token itself, is in fact a security. So John Deaton actually asked the judge, do secondary market sales of library mean that that library token is a security? What's the answer? Well, the judge said, well, I'm actually not going to answer that because I don't have to. So in terms of what that could mean for the Ripple case, we could be looking at a summary judgment, and there's some speculation that Judge Torres might not give any definitive answer as to if XRP is in fact a security on the secondary markets. Now, this is, of course, something that the SEC is foolishly claiming and going after. So as we look at a wrapping up of this case, people are going to be looking at the rest of the summary judgment that the judge just handed a win to the SEC in what Jeremy Hogan basically calls a feather in the cap of the SEC. And now that we have that as yet another backdrop, I'm going to be talking about what XRP is doing, because right now it's having a tough time cracking 50 cents. It's actually a major resistance level. However, if it does crack it, the technical analysis says it should go to 60 cents pretty quickly. Now, the one thing that stuck out to me is a headline that I read a couple of days ago. And it was a market analysis by Santiment, which is an on-chain analytics firm. And they go over all kinds of different blockchain projects, XRP being one of them, the XRP ledger, its activity, all the movement of XRP, and so forth. Well, recently, they just came out with an analysis that said tens of millions of XRP were being purchased by a very small group of people. So who were these people? Those who hold a wallet with anywhere from 1 million to 10 million XRP in the last 11 days have purchased 170 million XRP, which means those wallets are doubling, tripling, quadrupling down on their belief in XRP and its value, that they're actually buying astronomical amounts of it. So normally this amount of capital flowing into a digital currency would skyrocket the price, or at least tweak the price, but it isn't. It's really not moving. It's kind of moving right along with the rest of the crypto market right now as we await many other factors. So what would mean if there are some big whales, major whales, purchasing this XRP? And by the way, these are not Ripple clients using it on the on-demand liquidity system. These are actually XRP wallets that have been holding XRP that are buying a ton more of it. Well, it turns out, according to Santiment, these sellers are retail XRP holders, meaning those who hold far less than 1 million XRP are actually unloading their XRP. Now, I have a couple of theories about this. Number one, people are getting kind of bored and kind of sick and tired of seeing other crypto projects spike and double, triple, quadruple in price, like some have in the past month or two, and they're kind of getting that next shiny object syndrome. They're unloading some of their XRP, or we're still in the backdrop of some bad economic activity. Maybe people are underwater in the houses that they just purchased at astronomical prices, and they need some way to fund it, so they're unloading some of their XRP. Maybe those people had actually bought XRP a couple of months ago expecting a decision in this case in May or maybe June. Well, the fact that they might have to wait now till September, they're losing some patience and therefore unloading some of that XRP. Maybe they'll load up again at the end of August. Who knows? But those are what the statistics say. This isn't an opinion. This is what the on-chain analysis says, what these wallets holding XRP are doing. The big wallets are buying, the little wallets are selling. But let me know in the comment section down below what you guys think. All right, guys, I want to thank you so much for watching this video all the way to the end, for smashing that thumbs up button, and as always, I'll see you guys on the next video.